Okay. So students, we are going to start with a new chapter, that is your chapter number 17, Government Budget. Before that, we have already discussed regarding the fiscal policy. Okay. In the fiscal policy, government, we discussed regarding various government instruments that a particular government can use to achieve various economic and social objectives for an economy. All right, to maintain economic stability, price stability, to sustain economic growth, to sustain good investment, to sustain good productivity in an economy, fiscal policy was very important, and we have discussed that in the previous chapter. Now we are in a position to discuss regarding the government budget. First of all, I will tell you that what are the various topics that you have to learn in this chapter according to your syllabus. You have to learn the meaning of the government budget. First topic is the meaning of the government budget. Then types of the government budget. Under the types of the government budget, you just have to do union and state budget. No other budget is in your course. There are many types of budgets are given: planned budget, performance, zero base, supplementary. All these things you don't have to do because these are not mentioned in your syllabus. Under the types of government budget, you just have to do union and state budget. Then we directly come on to components or structure of the budget. We have to discuss the capital budget, the revenue budget. Under the revenue budget, we will discuss revenue receipts, revenue expenditure. Under the capital budget, we will discuss capital expenditure and capital revenue. And at last, we have to do the concept of deficit budget. And then we have to see various types of deficits, which is your revenue deficit, fiscal deficit, primary deficit, their meaning and implications. Only this much we have to do, nothing else. Okay, so it is quite easy also, and questions will be asked from this chapter because it is an application-based chapter. So, dear students, first you people all must be knowing regarding budget. Okay, in a layman's language, if I talk about the word budget, what things come in your mind? Even a family makes a budget. Okay, even a small family, or if you're living in a small family or big family, all right. Every types of families also they make budget. And what is the purpose of making that budget? That a particular person or a head of that house knows the various resources, various sources from where he or she earns the income. All right, and he or she plans out the various things they have to incur the expenditure. So all this financial plan of a particular house for a particular family, we can also call it as a budget. Likewise, to manage the finance of the whole country, okay, there must be someone to manage the finance of the whole country. Otherwise, everything will go in a haphazard manner if things are not planned. When things are not planned well before, then what is the repercussion? The things work in a haphazard manner. So the finance of any country do not works in a haphazard manner. For that, government has to prepare a government budget. You can say government has to prepare a statement, an annual statement, which is known as the government budget. Okay, through this, what government do? Government manages the finances. Okay, the management of finance is being done with the help of the government budget. It is a financial plan for achieving various objectives. Government plans out. Government prepares a blueprint. Okay, which is known as a financial plan or the government budget. And for what they prepare? For achieving various objectives. like a particular household makes the budget of his or her family to achieve certain objectives. Likewise, the government also prepares the budget to achieve various objectives. And you should know that preparing of a government budget, it is a constitutional obligation on the government. Okay, the government is bound by the law under Article 112 that every year they have to prepare a statement, that is the government budget. Okay, now so these were your some points of general knowledge. Now coming on to the meaning of the government budget. Alright, see how the government budget can be defined. The meaning is very important. See, the budget of the government, or you can call it as the government's budget, is an annual. First thing we have got that it is an annual, that it is prepared for a particular year. It is an annual financial statement. Second point, the second keyword that I have got, that it is a financial statement. It shows the expenditures and revenue of the government. That is why it is known as the financial statement. And what does this financial statement has in it? Okay, what things does it include in it? It describes in detail, okay, everything is mentioned in detail in the government budget. The estimated receipts and the proposed expenditures. Now these 2 points are very important. हम ऐसे सीधा सीधा भी बोल सकते थे कि that it describes in detail the receipts and expenditure of the government. Alright, we can also write that, we could have also written that it describes in detail the receipts and expenditures of the government. But see, we are using estimated receipts and proposed expenditure. See, government makes the budget for the coming year. Alright, for example, right now, the government is in preparation of the budget for 2020-21. Sorry, 21-22. Alright. Now, in recently the government is in the procedure of preparing the budget for 2021-22. वो इस साल का बजट बनाने की प्रिपरेशन में लगी हुई है, and February तक this budget will be announced. So अब उसको जो 2021 और 22 में receipts, जो revenue receipts मिलेंगी, whatever revenue receipts that the Indian government will receive in 2021 and 22 in that year, will they know? Can they say with 100% surety that I will get this much revenue in this year? Can they say? Tell me someone.
Sir, estimate.
No, the government cannot say that how much actual receipts or total receipts I will get in 2021-22. That is why they make an estimated receipt. They estimate. Okay, with the help of various mathematics techniques, there are various mathematical techniques through which they can estimate that हाँ हमें अंदाजा है कि हाँ 2021-22 के ईयर में हमें इतनी रिसिप्ट्स मिलेंगी, इतना रेवेन्यू कलेक्ट हो जाएगा. Alright, and proposed expenditures. The government proposes expenditure कि हम 2021-22 में ये करेंगे, हम बुलेट ट्रेन बनवाएंगे, हम राफेल जेट्स लाएंगे, हम ये करेंगे, हम वो करेंगे. गवर्नमेंट प्रपोज करती है. They are not telling it with 100% surety that I will do that. They propose expenditures that I have planned this. If I am able to collect the estimated receipt, whatever it is in my mind or whatever they are telling to the people, then I will incur those receipts on the expenditure which I am proposing right now on the table. in the Lok Sabha. All right. So it includes the estimated receipts and the proposed expenditures and disbursements of the government. Disbursements of the government means that budget is divided under various heads. Okay, under various heads for the financial or fiscal year. In India, the financial year, or also you can also call it as fiscal year, it is from 1st of April to 31st of March. Alright. So you all must be remembering that previous year we have done that skit on budget. Okay, I think you people were also there, and Mansi was playing the role of the finance minister. Okay, so that particular, I have told you when I delivered this speech in the auditorium, I told you that government proposes the budget, government prepares the budget for the coming year. और जिस आने वाला साल होता है उसके लिए गवर्नमेंट बजट बनाती है, इसीलिए उसमें एस्टिमेटेड रिसीप्ट्स होती है कि हम एस्टिमेट कर रहे हैं, हम अंदाजा लगा रहे हैं कितनी रिसीप्ट्स होंगी और प्रपोज्ड एक्सपेंडिचर. This is your proper meaning of government budget. None of the keywords should miss from this meaning when you are writing the meaning. Otherwise, marks will be deducted because these are the keywords. These keywords describe the real budget. What the real budget is. If you are just writing receipts and expenditure, then it goes wrong because the government prepares the budget on the basis of estimated receipts and proposed expenditures. Is it clear to everyone? Is there any problem in the meaning of the government budget? Students? Is there any problem in the meaning of the government budget?
No, sir.
There must not be any problem. All right. Now, students, we have to discuss the types of budget, and in those types of budget, we just have to discuss regarding the union and the state budget. All right. Under the types of budget, we have to discuss regarding the union budget and the state budget. See, we all know that India has adopted a federal system. That means India has a central government which looks after the whole country, looks after all states and the union territories. And there are various states also in that country. So this is the federal setup, where there is a central government and there are various states also. It is a federal setup. So due to that federal setup, the budget is made at two levels. The union budget is prepared by the central government for the country as a whole. The union budget is also known as the general budget. Okay. Why it is known as the general budget? Because this budget is prepared for whole country. It is prepared for the country as a whole. In this budget, no state, ऐसा नहीं है कि किसी भी स्टेट को छोड़ देने के वहां हम एक्सपेंडिचर नहीं कर रहे हैं या उस एरिया में एक्सपेंडिचर नहीं कर रहे हैं. It will cover each and every state of the country as a whole. Okay. And what is the state budget? According to the Constitution of India, each state also has to make its budget, plan its budget. Okay, the preparation system is same, the estimated receipts, the proposed expenditure, but the limit of the application of budget, it becomes narrow. The budget of Uttar Pradesh, it will be within the limits of Uttar Pradesh only. The budget of the Delhi government, it will be within the limits of the Delhi government only. The budget of Rajasthan, it will remain in the within the limits of the Rajasthan government. Okay, so various states also they prepare budget for themselves for their state, and the central government prepares the union budget or the general budget for the country as a whole. So the difference between the union budget and the state budget can be asked. All right. So you should know just one difference at least you should know regarding between the union budget and the state budget. One difference will become of the meaning, and second you can write that general budget is a very wide concept, or it is a very wide thing because it covers the whole country, and whereas the state budget is narrow because the limits of its application is limited. Okay. Is it clear the difference between union and the state budget, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we will come on the actual thing that what are the components or what is the structure of the budget of the government? How that budget is made? What are the various heads in that particular budget? That we will discuss under the components or structure of the budget. It is also very important. Components and structure of the, or it is also known as the structure of budget. Alright. See, the two major heads under which the budget is divided, जो दो major head है, इसमें budget divided है, वह है हमारा, first is my revenue budget. First is my revenue budget. And second is my capital budget. Revenue budget and capital budget. पहले तो जो पूरा बजट होगा उसके दो पार्ट होंगे, एक रेवेन्यू बजट और एक कैपिटल बजट। रेवेन्यू बजट के अंदर there are two things, the revenue receipts and revenue expenditure and likewise same in the case of your capital budget. Under your capital budget there are two things, capital revenue and capital expenditure. Capital revenue and capital expenditure. So students, for the purpose of exams, you should be knowing the difference between the revenue budget and the capital budget. You should be knowing the meaning and the differences between the revenue receipts and the revenue expenditure. Okay. This is your capital receipts. Okay. And the difference between capital receipts or capital expenditure. They can also ask the difference between revenue receipts and capital receipts, or the difference between revenue expenditure and capital expenditure, because these two things are opposite to each other. We will discuss now. So, why there is a division in the budget? Okay, why the budget is divided under two heads, that is your revenue budget and your capital budget. See, it is just for one reason. Whenever we incur any sort of expenditure, it will be whether it will be we earn something or we incur any expenditure. Okay, it might be of revenue nature or capital nature. Okay, being a commerce students, I think most of the students must be knowing now that what is the nature of any revenue thing, any revenue transaction, and what is the nature of any capital transaction. We all know that revenue transactions they are done for day-to-day life. All right, for day-to-day business, for running day-to-day business. All right, for they are of very short-term period. Okay, they do not provide the benefit for the long term. All right, they are recurring in nature. All these things are your comes under the revenue transactions. And when we talk about any capital transaction, then that particular transaction is of not recurring nature, that it does not repeats again and again in the year, in that particular year, not that much as much the revenue transaction repeats. All right, and the capital transaction has the effect on the person, on that person for the longer period of time. For example, if I say that a particular person is working somewhere, all right, there is any X person and he or she is in any job, in any government job, and that particular person earns income every month. Okay, so he or she knows that in those 12 months I'll be able to collect this much money. Okay, so this income that that particular person is earning, it is recurring in nature. It keeps on happening in that particular whole fiscal year. अब ऐसे समझ लो कि वो जो एक एक्स पर्सन है, उसकी इनकम तो है ही है, उसकी कहीं 2-4 जमीनें भी पड़ी, ओके, कहीं बाहर उसकी 2-4 जमीनें भी पड़ी हैं, उसको कुछ पैसे की जरूरत पड़ी तो उसने वो जमीन बेच के, ओके, उसने जब वो जमीन बेची तो उसको पैसा मिल गया. So there is a difference between income received from that job that he is doing and the income received from the selling of that particular plot. What is the difference? See, when he is incurring and he is getting the income from his work, all right, neither it is affecting its liability nor it is affecting its asset. It is just my income which I am getting. Okay, I am earning any income. It will not reduce my asset. Okay, or it will not create any liability. But when I sell that particular plot and I get the money from the selling of that particular plot, then my asset will be reduced because that land was my asset. So this is the basic difference between your revenue budget and the capital budget. Whatever transactions happen in revenue budget does not affect the liabilities and assets of the country or of the government. Any transaction that is recorded under the head of the revenue budget, it does not have any impact on the liability and asset of the government. Whereas the transactions that are recorded under the capital budget, they have an immediate effect, a direct effect on the liability and asset of the government. This is the major difference between your revenue budget and the capital budget. All right. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And we all know that revenue budget includes revenue receipts and revenue expenditure. Capital budget includes capital receipts and capital expenditure. So if we talk about your revenue receipts, first we'll discuss revenue receipt, then then capital receipts, then revenue expenditure and capital expenditure. Why we will discuss like this? Because revenue receipts and capital receipts are just opposite things. So we will discuss capital receipts after discussing revenue receipts. All right. So that the difference is clear. So coming on to your revenue receipt, students, as I've told you that whatever receipts are being received by the government from the revenue purpose for the revenue receipts, it will not, you can say it will not reduce the government's asset or nor it will create any new liability on the government. इससे ना ही कोई पुराना asset कम होगा, okay, और ना ही कोई new liability create होगी. So write it everyone. No asset will be reduced and no new liability will be created from the revenue receipts. Alright, why it is so? Because revenue receipts of the government are all those receipts which are non-redeemable. Whatever the government is getting from as a revenue receipt from tax sources, from non-tax sources like from income tax, wealth tax, alright, your property tax, corporation tax, fines, challans, legal fees, etc. जो भी चीजें गवर्नमेंट अर्न कर रही है उससे गवर्नमेंट को कोई ऑब्लिगेशन नहीं बन रहा है, गवर्नमेंट को ये पैसा रिटर्न नहीं करना है. It is non-redeemable. Revenue receipts are non-redeemable. No person can ask कि भाई मैंने इतना फाइन भरा था तो मुझे इतना पैसा चाहिए गवर्नमेंट से. No, they are non-redeemable. They do not create any obligation on the government, and they do not, such receipts do not reduce any asset, nor it creates any new liability for the government. Alright, whereas when we talk about capital receipt, it is just opposite to what revenue receipts are. Capital receipt will reduce any asset or it will create particular liability for the government. Alright, it will reduce any asset of the government, it might reduce any asset of the government, or it can create any new liability for the government. We will discuss the various examples also. Alright, in the next class, I think it is 9:55 now. And we also have to discuss various things that come under revenue receipts and capital receipts में क्या क्या आता है, revenue receipts में क्या क्या आता है. पहले हम लोग वो डिस्कस करेंगे in the third period. Today we will complete the revenue receipts and the capital receipts.